and 1460 WMBA.
And we're back here on this Friday morning edition of AM Beaver County. I'm now joined in studio by Valerie McKelvey and Langdon McComas. And good morning to the both of you.
Good morning.
So today we're going to be talking about an event that's taking place tomorrow in New Brighton. And let's talk a little bit about that. I'll go to you, Langdon, first about this. What is this event?
So it's essentially a food festival, kind of bringing together the New Brighton eateries all in one place, while also utilizing the beautiful riverfront park of Big Rock,
Mm-hmm.
and just really to help promote the restaurants, especially after surviving the pandemic.
Yeah. And how long has this been sort of in the thought process of, let's get something together to do this and let's, get all the places together?
So this is actually the third one.
Oh, okay.
We started off a little smaller. Like I said, it was started to bring attention through the pandemic, try to lean on each other. My customer is your customer kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year it's just we decided to keep doing it. So this is the third, and it's just grown a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yes, and a lot of that does, go to, the council for, their help in getting this all together. And Valerie, I turn to you for that because when you first heard about this going back a few years ago, I take it your thought was, okay, this is a great idea. Let's go with it.
You know me very well. And what's really nice is that Brighton has been famous for our eagles. And yes, we are claiming the eagles. They live on the New Brighton side of the water, just so you know that, the Big Rock. But we have quite a following that come for that. And having the backdrop of the hillside in the park has been awesome to have activities there.
It has been. And, it's a very scenic area. It's a very, gathering-like atmosphere. And so what better place to gather for, an event like this than there. So let's talk about some of the places that are going to be there because, again, a part of this is, gathering all the restaurants together and, showcase them all. What are some of the ones that are going to be there?
So in addition to my own restaurant, Quality Time and Carryout, we'll also have Capico's Pizza, Woolly Bully's Juke Joint, PJ's Deli and Catering. We'll have some coffee drinks from the new coffee shop, The Promise Blend on Oak Hill. We're at Your Service will be there. Croker's Brewing Company will also be there. Oh, and Fisher's Foodland and Hookie's Cookies.
And what's amazing and what's great about that too, because I know you mentioned that the pandemic took everything down and shut everything down for a while. But if you took that away, not that anybody ever should for the contextual reasons, but if you took that away, what you still have are so many businesses in New Brighton that have opened up over the course of the last 3, 4, 5 years, and that's something that a lot of people may not know about. That's something that citizens are like, oh, I'll go here every time. They may not realize all the options that they have down there.
Yes.
And that's, another great reason to come out for Taste of the Town coming up tomorrow. I believe it was from 12 to 6 tomorrow.
It is.
12 to 6 tomorrow. And what do people need to do as far as they need to register? They just show up and...
no, it's you can just show up. The road going into the park will be partially closed except for vendors and handicap parking. So you can park on 1st or 2nd Avenue, walk right into the park, and the first vendor you'll see is Capico Pizza, and you just keep going through. And what a lot of people do is they take a first lap, see what everybody's offering. PJs will usually have some brisket and mac, and Woolies will usually have some pierogies, and
What will you have?
We'll have lobster rolls and shredded beef sandwiches. So usually people just take a lap, see what's on the menu, and then they take that second lap. It tends to be a cash event. Not all the vendors will have, card swipes, but So come in prepared and ready to eat.
This is our first year for beer.
This is our first year for beer. Quality Time has obtained a storage license with Kroger Brewing Company out of Newcastle. So we've invited them in. Since you can now get that in their beer in our restaurant, they'll be joining us for the first time in Taste of the Town.
Wow, that's impressive.
And then because we have the street being blocked off because of having alcohol, the parking is going to be on 1st and 2nd Avenue, and obviously there'll be no ticketing anybody between 12 and 6.
Between 12 and 6.
Between 12 and 6.
Yeah, when 6:01 comes around, you better start thinking about
better move your.
That is good to know, though, because you want to make sure that everyone has their proper space to park, and there's no worries about getting in and out, because I know that might be an issue for some.
Yes.
They're thinking, it's going to be a little crowded down there, but there will be that parking allotted, and again, as long as everybody's responsible, once you get out there by 6 or so, everything should be okay.
Right.
We're talking about Taste the Town for the New Brighton Business District Authority, and that's coming up tomorrow from noon until 6 at Big Rock Park, and we will continue the conversation following the break here on AM Beaver County.
You don't have to have had an accident, suffered a sports injury, or undergone surgery to take advantage of the benefits of physical therapy from Dale Reckless at MRS Physical Therapy. At a recent live broadcast at MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater, Dale Reckless talked about treatment for the common foot pain condition, plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis is a pretty common thing, and I tell my patients, don't wait to come and get some treatment for it. The longer you wait, the more chronic it becomes, and we'll still fix it, but it'll just take longer. If you come to see me when you're first getting the symptoms, then I can take care of it a lot quicker. What I do with plantar fasciitis is we give some stretches to do. I do a lot of hands-on exercise, and then I also do an evaluation of how they walk and how they stand. They need the hands-on work that I do to help cure the plantar fasciitis.
If you need physical therapy for any reason, choose the place that your friends and neighbors do. MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater and Cranberry Physical Therapy in Cranberry. Visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com.
Is it possible for a grocery store to continue to surprise you? Well, if it's Aliquippa Giant Eagle, the answer is yes. Therefore, you better be prepared for exciting new developments during your next visit. Even during a time when some stores are cutting hours and inventory, Aliquippa Giant Eagle has expanded 3 of their most popular departments. Enjoy larger selection and bigger displays at the Aliquippa Giant Eagle produce, prepared foods, and wine departments. Some people say it's almost like a whole new store. So stop down and browse through the newly expanded produce, prepared food, and wine selections at Aliquippa Giant Eagle. And while you are there, if you haven't done so already, ask about switching from Fuel Perks to the all-new My Perks program. That's because existing Aliquippa Giant Eagle Fuel Perks program members can take advantage of some amazing benefits by switching over to My Perks now. Hurry, special incentives for switching over expire soon. Click gianteagle.com/myperks or visit Aliquippa Giant Eagle in the Green Garden Plaza.
St. Barnabas began serving people as a skilled nursing home in 1900. Fellow St. Barnabas radio network station WJAS started broadcasting in 1922. So it's only fitting that another member of their team is also now celebrating a big milestone of service. Beaver County Radio is in our 75th anniversary year. Now that's apart from the ordinary.
And we're back here on this Friday morning edition of AM Beaver County. We're talking with Valerie McKelvey and Langdon McComas from the New Brighton Business District Authority, and we're talking about Taste of the Town taking place tomorrow from noon until 6 at Big Rock Park. And one thing that I wanted to bring up, too, is that the fact that it's happening at Big Rock Park, I mean, and I don't think this applies to every business, but it's definitely creeping into most businesses, especially restaurants over the course of the last several years, is the concept of the food truck getting to be part of this. And I think what that does, too, is not only open avenues for all these different customers to come in and say, oh, I haven't tried that before. I haven't gone to that place, but I'll try it here. And it does create that mobility. But, you talk about your association with Kroger Brewing Langdon, and that's a huge one for breweries, is to have food trucks out there for all of their different events. So this is sort of a test run for those who I don't know if anybody's doing a food truck for the first time, but I imagine that if they're not being recognized yet, they might be after this.
Yeah, you a lot of other towns will have, a food truck Thursday kind of deal, which is great. But we just have so many great food spots in our town that, being with the pandemic hurting everybody, it just seemed like a great call to, rather than have a food festival that invites outside business, to just promote the ones that we have right inside the city limits. A biased opinion, having a brick and mortar restaurant myself. So while food trucks are great, we wanted that one thing that the brick and mortars don't really get that mobility chance very often. So it seemed like just a perfect way to, highlight the hometown.
It is. And furthermore, it is a great way for, people to realize just how many different options there are in New Brighton. And not only that, but it may inspire others to sort of say, hey, here they are selling their goods. Here they are, supporting local business. I want to be part of that. And that, can involve being part of the New Brighton Business District Authority.
Mm-hmm.
So how would one do that if they end up coming tomorrow and finding themselves inspired by such actions?
So, with the Business District Authority, their third Thursday of every month, public meetings, residents are welcome. We are always open to suggestions and ideas. A lot of people have asked me, there used to be a lot of events. How can we get more? And I generally tell them, come to meetings. Put your ideas out there. If you're willing to really get involved and get it started, there's a whole lot of people that are willing to help you get it to where you need it to be. In the last few years, we've started, we've had several inaugural events that have only been, Fall Fest is being on the main street is only a few years. This is the third taste of the town.
Candy crawl.
Last year, we started a candy crawl, which was a trick or treat
Huge
through the
success.
business district. Yeah, we expected 80 to 100 kids. We got over 300.
Wow.
Yes.
So just things like that.
And you know what, if I may add, Langdon, the Business District Authority has notoriously been just about facade. And now we are really being involved in the community, and people see us not as just a government type entity, but a community entity.
That's a very good point, and I agree with you on that. What it does is create this, because even though there is the business side of business, any business, whether it be food or entertainment or commerce, ultimately it's a matter of we're out here to be a part of the community. We're out here to help the community. We're here to gather community together,
Right.
and not for any reasons that are negative or any
Right.
type of
No
sort of
agenda. We have no hidden agenda.
Exactly. No hidden agenda. No very stoic sense of mind. And an event like this is a perfect example of that. You're gathering there. You're having food. You're having fun.
All ages are welcome. Handicap accessibility.
Right. Exactly. And that's a great thing too, because some people may think, I'm going out to the park and I'm not sure, get my wheel stuck in the mud there for a second. No, get that all covered at the
Yes.
event. And it'll be all in Big Rock Park. It'll be all along the trail there.
Yes.
Okay. And again, there's so many different businesses. We'll have details on links and everything at beavercannery.com later on this morning. And we mentioned some of the other events that are coming up for the New Brighton Business District Authority, most notably Fall Fest and the Candy Crawl, which I had just learned about today, and I'm already just thinking to myself, okay, this is a great idea.
It was fantastic. And that was a way to bring everybody downtown. We were going to do a trunk, the trick or trunk or truck or trick. What
Trunk
I'm
or
saying.
treat.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's going to sound good. But we realized that, turn the cars around and everything. So we decided to do it in front of the businesses. The costumes were as big as dinosaurs. There were dragons. It was so much fun. So we did knock an hour off because we ran out of candy.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was 11 to 2. Now it's 11 to 1.
And it was a great opportunity. Like, there were things that we didn't even foresee, like residents that don't get
Yes.
to have trick or treat.
They
were
came
coming
down.
down from apartments and handing out candy because they don't normally get to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses that aren't on the main street were
Came down.
invited, and they came down and just set up a table. Uh, like in the borough, set up in the parklet, and it just ended
It
up
just
being
worked.
so much bigger and amazing than we had anticipated. We can't not do it again.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, obviously after 1 year, you sort of learn some things like Val said,
Yeah.
you
Took that
tighten the
hour
hours
off.
a little bit. Maybe you may get a little bit more candy this
Yes,
time around.
yes.
But just based on that alone, it's already looking like that's going to be a great thing. And more so, it brings community together, and not just the New Brighton community. And I want to emphasize this too. It's, even though this is a New Brighton thing featuring New Brighton businesses, anybody can come.
Oh yeah, anybody. Yeah.
And then this is a case of Beaver County coming together and realizing again what options they have and maybe trying something they haven't tried before. Because I mean, we mentioned earlier, like you guys at Quality Time, you're gonna have lobster rolls out there, and a lot of people may think to themselves, lobster roll, I don't think I've ever had that.
Right.
I know you
Right.
can get that in Beaver County,
Right.
but you can, and it's gonna be available for everybody. And as far as all the business being there, is that all established? And I take it, with 24 hours, not even left. I actually would be 24 hours, about 26 or 7, that everything's set up and there's going to be no more space for people to come out, or is there a possibility for that tomorrow?
Not really. We have several businesses that were very interested. There's just staffing issues, which have just been a lingering issue. So while I invite them and they get, I can squeeze them in and get them where they need to be, but that has essentially been the biggest hang up for any business that isn't participating.
Staff.
It's usually having people to work it and keep their business open, or
That's a good
Because you're
point.
not going to be open.
we will not be open because we will focus on the event. And that's just how it goes. You got to kind of make that decision. It upsets some people that show up, but hopefully they see the sign on the door and head to the
Right,
park.
exactly. It's like we don't know, we're still open. We're just not open here. We're open
Yeah,
there.
right.
And that will draw them in too. And one thing I was going to ask in regards to that, because I know you mentioned, staffing for the restaurants themselves, obviously an issue in regards to that. And then that'd be the case even pre or post COVID, and that's always going to be the case. As far as the event overall, is there any seeking for volunteer help, or is that pretty much taken care of at this point as well?
For your event, the Taste of the Town, you're good with volunteers, right?
Essentially, yeah, we've got a great public works department in New Brighton.
Absolutely.
They'll be helping us out. And then there's just there's a few people that'll kind of go around and handle minor issues, but for the most part, it's very self-sufficient. Vendors are
Very professional.
yeah, they come in, they see how their spot is, they leave, and their spot looks like
Yes,
that again.
yes.
It's been surprisingly smooth in being able to just go and vendors handling all their needs.
Now, the candy crawl, we do rely on the police a lot to get everybody, because it's both sides of the street. So we do get the Lions Club and the Boy Scouts to help us with that. And same with the Oktoberfest, because we are downtown from 8th Street to 12th Street. So there are some issues where we do need the police to be a little bit better on hand, making time for us.
And that might be a situation where volunteers may be needed from the community.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully that does come to fruition.
Yes.
And even though last year again was successful, there's those elements that were just sort of clean them up a little bit,
Yeah.
and then everything will be even.
And then a
smoother.
map for the candy crawl. We had a map, but if you're coming from Rochester and you start at that end, or if you're coming from Beaver Falls end, so we've got to fine tune that so you can get a map at every location. So.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but again, maybe we'll visit that here on AM Beaver County in a little bit as we get up closer to Halloween. But Taste of the Town tomorrow from noon till 6 at Big Rock Park, presented by the New Brighton Business District Authority. Come out, have some good food, have some good times, meet some good people. And speaking of which, Valerie and Langton, thank you so much for coming on this morning
Thank
to talk
you.
about that
Thank
with us.
you.
And best of fun tomorrow
Yes.
at the event.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Yep, Teleform's next.
Did you know that facial